Loppinger, and I am a marine biology student. I will be doing my presentation on grants, and in the next 5 minutes I hope to inform you on the importance of grants and through funding, knowledge, and action, how we can make a difference for our oceans. So I want to ask you guys, how many have seen this image? It is of a green sea turtle with a plastic straw lodged in its nose. This was all over Facebook and the internet for a while, and it really brought some wanting people to come out and make a difference for our pollution levels. And this image is from Smash.com, and they also have the video online, which is horrific to watch, but has led to us wanting to really make a difference in today's oceans. And the main way that we can do this is through grants. Marine biologists rely on these grants for funding. They can either be federal or private companies, and a great website that I came across was grants.com, or .gov, sorry, which is a federal website that lets you create a profile. And this profile will allow you to qualify for grants that you want to research. Private ones can also just give you funding to want to go into conservation. And a great example I came across was a TED Talk with David Lang. He's an inventor who received a grant for underwater cameras. And these cameras were able to dive into the ocean and get images of red zones, which are areas that nothing can live. So there are roughly 500 red zones covering 245,000 kilometers in the Gulf of Mexico. So animals can live below and above, but in these areas anything will die if they are here. And these red zones are causing huge deaths, and we might not think this pertains to us as being in the Midwest, but due to our fertilizers and pesticides, when it rains, this runoff goes into the ocean with the chemicals in it, and the Mississippi River carries it into the Gulf, causing these red zones. And again, we might not think it pertains to us, but it also affects our freshwater fish, and it also affects the sea fish. And we have a cap to how much fish that we can consume in a given time, or else we will get severely sick. And we also have to think that when these fish are eaten by other fish, they are also affected. So it could be affecting everything from the smallest fish to the biggest, or sharks and dolphins, which can also affect the economy, because if we keep going at a rate like this with our pollution, there won't be any fish left for us to consume, which can really harm restaurants and businesses that rely on harvesting fish and fishery, and can really do an impact on our government. And now that we understand how to receive grants and what they can be used for, I have an example for preventing mercury and high levels of chemicals in the ocean. Metaphorically, let's say that we received a $100,000 grant. Now this grant we could use to purchase testing kits, the cameras to go under the water, the staff, and the research team to be able to go in there, and we could test the levels of mercury in the water. We could see and calculate how many animals are really affected by this, and we could go back up to the Midwest and come up with a different system for pesticides and allow some information and knowledge to farmers to show that there is another way for us to both be happy and lead to a healthier ecosystem. And if we were successful, there'd be much less fish affected, and it would make a huge impact on the ocean with our amount of fish in the ocean and our ability to consume them. And through our knowledge, funding, and action, we can actually change the planet with just one little step. This one funding could cause hundreds of thousands of animals to be brought back into this area. We wouldn't have to worry about how much fish we could consume in a given time, and it would keep the oceans cleaner in general. With multiple people doing multiple researches like this, we could really make it a huge impact on today's oceans, which is why this is so important to me as a marine biology major. I really want to pursue a change and really keep our oceans pristine for our future generations, and at a rate like this, with our rising populations, there might not be much left as time goes on. So I think now more than ever, it's super important for us to pursue grants and funding in order for us to save today's oceans, or else there might not be much for us left. And I think the sooner the better. it's super important to pursue this, and so do those oceans.